attend. So I'm a little nervous to share this, just to be completely honest, because sometimes it's difficult to tell the difference between a story that I am telling myself versus a revelation. But I do believe that this is actually meant to be a message for all of us to receive. So, what I just was saying, and then I heard and I was like, wait, what? Was that throughout history, first of all, throughout history, the alignment of earth beings with periods and the time in which a lot of them were having periods, it also historically lined up with major world changing shifts in human history. Now, how we would know that, this is clearly information that is embedded in codes that we don't have access to, or like it's embedded into information that we don't have. It's written word that we don't have anymore, or that is being kept from us. Either way, I wouldn't be able to tell you proof on how this is true. I wouldn't be able to tell you, so don't ask. But that's just what I first said, and then what came after that was that the next time, and it was something about Mars. They were saying Mars. I was saying they were saying Mars in Cancer and the full moon in Cancer. Like those would be astrological aspects that are in alignment, sidereal or Western. I don't know. I didn't ask. It could be sidereal or sidereal. But that timing, along with many, many, many Earth beings having their period, that is going to create or form an incredible shift in the world. The next time that happens, like mass alignment, global alignment, it's going to be. And so the other part of this was that for people who do have their period, you need to stop tracking it on period apps because they can't be trusted. You need to record it on your own. Just write it in a notebook, something perhaps that's not digital. And that is because this is literally something where we could end up having timing that the system doesn't have access to because it's just our own writing, it's our own data, right? So they wouldn't have this. This is a language they wouldn't have. This also means that this could be the beginning of really formulating a global telepathic, like community line, where we are in tune with what's happening with each other without having to say it, right? Because even talking out loud to yourself is going to get, it's already getting weird because how many people have things in their home that listen, right? And this is not to be like conspiracy, blah, 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 but just like the facts. Like we all know that Alexa and all those things can record your stuff. So we're already there, So yes, don't use the period tracker apps. Write it down yourself, please. It would be really helpful if you did that. Of course, there's going to be assholes that don't care about our movement and are going to purposely use the period tracking apps to make sure that they can try and give the system some information, but they are outnumbered greatly. Okay, let me just say, we are not alone. It feels like we are the minority in terms of this way of thinking, this level of thinking that seems kind of crazy, but we're actually really not. A lot of people are masking. A lot of people are masking, and don't be rude to them because honestly, it's good. It's really great that a lot of people are not being honest because we need another performance to be taking place while we get set up backstage. You know what I mean? Those people are doing very important roles, and it's very hard. And it's so hard that some levels of consciousness have to be turned off in order to commit to this role. So those people are like soldiers on the front line. Don't be rude to them. That's all I gotta say. Let it be, okay? Let everybody be. Let everybody do what they're doing. Focus on what you're doing. That's going to become super important because the more you're focused on yourself, the more you're tapped into whatever is going on in our second brain or whatever. And the more that we're going to be able to tap into the inner conscious community line that's being formed. It wouldn't just be us on our own, in our own mind. You're going to start being able to hear other lines of communication. You already do, right? for those of us whose inner monologue, you can hear it, right? You already hear information from others, but our spirit team is so protective that it's usually them speaking to you. It would be really strange and it would be difficult if other energies were able to just get in, right? That's not great, which means that there's problems on so many levels, not just with, it's not your fault because clearly something with those teams, there's something happening in the spirit realm where the spirits that are supposed to be by your side cannot be there. That's something we should look into because I guarantee that in the spirit realm, what's happening is like internment camps with what happens here on Earth. Sorry to be so brutal about it, but like I bet that's what's happening. And I bet those people who don't have like that protection, they're not able to keep out the voices. Like it's not their fault. Like clearly their spirit team has been taken because spirits are not weak. Angels, ancestors are not weak. So they're either there or they're not. And if they're not there, it's not because they don't care about you, and it's not because you don't deserve to have somebody there for you, spirits there for you. It's because they've been taken. There's something going on in the spirit realm where spirits are being captured and sent into like camps. Anyways, I don't know, that just came in with that. But the point being that in 5 to 7 years, timing is what it is, okay? Like don't 5 to 7 years, okay? Whenever you see that, maybe it's 5 to 7 years from now. If what I don't know, I have no idea if it's 5 to 7 years from literally today, and like it's gonna be true, or if it's like one of those things where it's like maybe I don't know. But anyways, that's the numbers I heard. 5 to 7 years. Tracking your period. In 5 to 7 years, we got like a 3-year like to really look at and see what's happening, but. For what I was saying is that it's going to be so obvious that it's televised. Like it's not going to be something that is, it's just like a shift that you feel inside. Like it's not like that. It's going to be very much so in the 3D, like something that we will all be like, oh shit, like, whoa, the people that are there at shifting moments in history, like where you actually turn the fucking corner and now you're in a different realm, those lives, that's the life that a lot of us are about to have. And it's happening in 5 to 7 years, whatever this shift is. So also, because we know that, great time to get shit done that you need to get done so that by the time the revolution actually hits, as in you're in the middle of a revolution, an uprising, a rebellion of global government systems. We have to remember, right now, we are in transition. We are getting ready to begin fighting. Like, if you were going to look at it as a war type of analogy, like we're getting ready to go out onto the fields. Up until now, it's not like we haven't been in a war. We have, but we've been gathering and we've been collecting information, and we haven't gone to actually meet up and fight. 5 to 7 years, it's giving that's when that's about to start going down. So whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you want to get done that has nothing to do with the revolution and will be lost once things start to take off, do it now. Like, do it now. You're in a period of transition where you have the room to still live a normal life, a regular life. Like, our lives are going to change. Our lives are going to change. The pandemic was a lot, but for many of us, we did not experience it on the level that nurses and hospitals did, right? So we don't have the understanding that certain people already have. Some people are already in that future, but in a different lens. Like people in the medical industry, they are kind of tapping into that in a different lens. Homeless people have been on that. Like, anyone who's really on the outskirts and really like every day is a battle, they kind of understand that. And while I do mean mentally, because yes, but you guys, I'm like being very specific. People who it's like every day is actually a fight. Every day is actually a fight for your life. Those people, they're tapped into what we're going to be understanding in 5 to 7 years. I don't want to scare anyone because it's not something to be afraid of. It's just something to begin to understand and prepare for. It's not going to be that difficult to get yourself to fight in 5 to 7 years. Look outside, try to breathe, smell what it smells like. Look outside, look on the ground. How much garbage do you see? Look into the sky. When was the last time, if you live in a big city, when was the last time you saw an actual blue sky? How long has that white haze been there? Right? Like start to like look at the weather app. When does it ever say that there's not a health risk? It feels like the norm is that health risk 1, health risk 2. And if it's 1, then it's okay. It's good. Like it's not a problem. There was a time when there was no health risk, when it was just about the regular air quality, but it probably wasn't even there because it didn't matter because there was nothing. We're getting there, right? The world is going to change. The world is going to change, but we have this really interesting gap that we're literally in 5 to 7 years before that change really becomes like felt on a level that is you cannot ignore, right? It is what it is. Before we enter that, we have this space and do whatever you wanted to do. Like your spirits, all of us must have known that there was going to come a point where we would transition into this shit, right? I feel like some of us knew on some type of level, right? There were things that you wanted to do before all of that happens. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Literally. Just do whatever it is. Have the dance class, sing a song on stage, go performing, go to a party, kiss the person, kiss the girl, like have fun, live life, okay? Because like we are about to experience a different version of life. It's not going to be what it was. It's not going to be what it was ever again. We are there at the end of a lifetime. We are there before the world dies and is reborn again, of course, but we are the generation that's here for the end of the world as we know it, right? You are in a really strange place where you're very aware that things are ending and there are things that you can do before the things really start to end. So do those things. Do those things because there is a way that this connects to having a foot in what we decide we want to live for the rest of our life once the world begins to end. We have a say in how that could go. We can contribute to what the end really, really means because it's going to be a long ending where the world's not going to snap back in 50 years, okay? So this is going to be generations long. We have a chance to put our stamp on this death so that we get a say in how it is reborn. Energy just transforms, right? So it's the same energy. Do you want your footprint in there? Do you want your thumbprint in there? You want your DNA in there? You've got to get involved. You have to get online. You have to get active. You've got to get involved. You have to get involved. Like, I know everybody's scared. Half people are scared of AI, don't want to do it. Half people are just quitting social media. I can't do this. Blah, 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 blah. This is the world that is going to become. We're like in the womb. We're watching it grow. We're here with it. This is the world that will become. So, and its foundation comes from us, comes from people. It comes from us. Okay, so what do you want to give it? What DNA do you want to give it? You want to just tell it that I'm leaving? Bye. See you never? You want to give it over to the toxics and let them create it? You want to do that? It's time to get involved, okay? It's time to get in. And I mean, if we really want to take it there, we could really be doing shit with politics. Like, we have never had an easier time. And I know that sounds insane to say, but it's true. It's true. Especially if you're in like Canada. Okay, especially if you're in Toronto, right? Like this election, we control it. And like we're living in a world that's so visible that like it's like stamped in that we control it. that we can control it. How do you want it to go? Go and vote that way. Everybody come into agreement and then do the thing. Because I know, oh my God, I don't want to, blah, 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 or I don't even care, or it doesn't mean anything, it doesn't do anything anyways. Are you sure? Or have we just never had somebody in office that meant anything to us? Because you were very, very aware of the fact that that wasn't a real person. We've never had like real people running. We've never had someone from the masses, from the public, okay? We are the public. We've never had a representative before. I know it seems like we might have. We have not. We have not. We have never had one of us in these positions before. Never. Okay? This is the public. This isn't about your specific group, your specific identity. This is the public, the masses, the globe. We've never had a representative before. The poor people that they talk about all throughout history, that us, we've never had a representative before. Nothing, no one has ever come and stepped onto these stages. These systems are not stupid and worthless, okay? Our ancestors fought to make these systems. They keep us alive in a way that we have never been able to experience life. It's not the entire matrix that needs to break down. It's the people in power. The power things need to break down. It's that. The whole thing isn't trash. Or else, like, look at the quality of life. When you really take a look back, a step back, and begin to remember what it is to be grateful, look at life. Okay? Things are pretty good. All in all. We don't need to tear down the whole system. And anyone who's really pushing for that, I would question a little bit. And I don't mean people who just really aren't aware yet of the switch. But I also do, because, like, start to think for yourself. But anyways, I'm talking about the people that are really pushing for it. And, like, what are they suggesting, though, otherwise? Like, to make something new. The people that just call for an end to systems and don't have anything else to say, we need to look into that more, because you're speaking that into existence. You're just like, the end of a system, the end of a system, the end of a system. That is like, and I take it back. Like, transform it into love. But all of that energy, it's energy. You speak it into existence. That doesn't come from nowhere. Right? So if enough of that bubbles up and we're just talking without going somewhere else, having another point, then that's easily moldable energy that can turn into whatever the people in power decide. So let's be aware of that. I don't even remember what the original point of that point was, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, this just carried on much longer than I thought it would. I'm like, what do I do now? Perhaps I shuffle my, there's two beautiful pigeons. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. Anyways, sorry. Ignore me, but I wonder if, like, they'll begin with AI creations of animals before anyone else. Like birds, like pigeons. Like, do you ever wonder if some of these pigeons are real birds or not? And I'm not saying that in a way to be nonchalant. It just made me laugh because it's like, holy fuck, like, what time are we living in? But have you ever wondered that? And I'm not crazy, okay? So I'm not just saying this shit just to say it, and I'm not saying this and I'm like, "Argh!" Like, I feel completely fine. I'm just wondering, like, does anybody else think about that? How many of us? This is what I mean, you guys. Like, and it's because most people aren't like assholes who are like, I am feeling this way. And so, constantly announcing their positions in the world out into the world. It's a form of, it's funny. It's from certain of us. Some of us do it, others don't. A lot of people don't. And it's not an insecurity place. It's just minding your business place. Like a lot of humans are very, they're cool. They're cool girls. You know what I mean? And, oh, fuck. No, I'm not losing it. I remember my line. I remember what I'm saying. I remember because it's a performance, but then it also really is. Okay, I have this really cool English class that I'm in, and it was talking about that, but I don't feel like I have time to do all this. Oh, yeah, I was just wondering if anybody had thought that way, because I think a lot more of us do than we like to admit. And it's like, okay, what if we just decided to do something about it? What if everybody put their pride to the side and let go of, their personal feelings about government and all of that and all of that and all of that? And what if we really just did something about it? Because I know that a majority of us are on the same side. So much so to the point that this could almost be a peaceful battle. Like, so much so to the point that we could almost, like, not lose anyone. That's how many people are on our side. We are so vast. There's so many of us. Like, there's so many of us that feel this way. Think about how many people are on the planet. 8 billion. Think about how many animals. And okay, so now maybe I'm starting to get into a territory where you're like, girl, and there's a part of yourself is like, girl, you're crazy. But hold on. Think about the animals. Okay, I know I'm not the only one that watched that show, Zoo. I know that if you can talk to your dog, why can't you talk to all these other creatures, right? Like, you and your cats, you and your dogs be chatting and you understand each other. So, like, what makes you think that that can't happen amongst other creatures once we realize that we're on the same side? Because what I'm also saying is, y'all think we've been slacking. You could say the same for the nature. You could say the same for nature. And I'm not talking about Mother Earth. I'm talking about all the other earth beings. Okay? It's not just on us. We are very hard on ourselves. And yes, humans have been insane, right? But we were fighting predator versus prey. Like, predator versus prey. Okay? It just was what it was. Everybody's thinking in their animal mind. This entire system, we are all in our animal mind. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just because we are grounded. We come from the fucking earth. So yeah, we're in our animal shit. But now it's time to move to the next stage, yeah. And we've been here before, of course, which is why we have stories about it. But we got to get back. I don't know what it was that caused the disruption in the relationships. I don't know. I'm sure that a lot of us would have things to say about it. And I don't know. Maybe the Lions can meet up and talk about it. They hit us up. I don't know. There have been many disruptions. I think that it could have things to do with the gods and the goddesses. Praise them. What I do think is that this is a problem of people not remembering their ancestors. See, now, I had to fight for that information. I had to fight for that information. And I know it's from my ancestors that are like, oh, you want this? Oh, you want this? Well, I know. Humbly, I know. Listening, hearing it, receiving it, accepting it, retrieving it. But anyways, yeah, fuck. No. Okay. I do remember my ancestors. You need to remember your ancestors. If you're on Earth, you have ancestors from fucking Lemuria, and they are animals, they are cows, they are lions. These are the ancient ones that taught y'all astrology. These are the ancient ones that taught everybody how to divine, how to do all this, how to do all that, how to do yoga. Like, these come from our ancient ancestors. The animals, they were here before any of us. They own this place, okay? And own not being taken in the blah, 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 toxic way. But for real, those ancestors, y'all need to make amends with. I'm saying y'all, it's all of us, okay? Me too. We need to figure out what to do. They will tell us what to do. They are the nature spirits. They're all the same. The nature spirits, the water spirits, your ancestors, all of these are a part of this ancient, the ancient of Earth, the ancient of whatever you want to call this place, Gaia, Kai, the ancient, they are of that. So not remembering them is insulting. It's disrespectful because you're trying to erase the origin, the core. You're erasing where the story began. Not having a beginning on Earth is very painful because it goes against everything that Earth is about. So erasing a beginning it's fundamentally destructive, disruptive. It's a denial of God. And that's why they are called, they live in their truth. The I am God. Okay? It's not that far off from being a person, but it is. Because they are at a different level of understanding. They get it. And Professor Melanie posted a video today. She saw this happening. She saw this coming. She was talking about the people in Rome, that the gladiators, the people in Rome that would fight against the attempt to remove this information, this truth. A lot of them were the gods. A lot of them were the goddesses. They did live and walk here on Earth with us. They did. Like, they're a species of Earth. They are. Some of them are masters in the cosmos as well. So then perhaps they go on to be signs of other planets as well. Starseeds. But they are of Earth, the first. The indigenous of the indigenous. So to erase them would be erasing your ancestors. They're the animals. And that's so insane. Like, they live and breathe and exist in everything. They make up this world. So, like, they are here. They are here. And yet their core is gone. It lives in some of us, but it's gone. We can't hear them. We can't see them. We don't know it's them. We see just the shell. They are without their bodies. They have bodies as well. It makes up form in a way that is not visible to us yet on Earth, except maybe some people do see them. And those are the ones that also get stuck in that crazy category. Because imagine seeing a God everywhere you went, right? Because that's how vast they are. And they have so many fucking personalities. It's insane. But, yeah. So, that's what I wanted to say about that. And yeah, so that was the prophecy. And then there's a bunch of other stuff. And perhaps this is all a part of it. Well, I have been saying that the spiritual is going to be getting physical. And I've actually already been saying that it is physical. Because, you know, the smudge people. How long has it been since we've been together? We don't chat much, but, like, we're super intimate. The smudge people. The people who create smudges on your windows with your hands. They basically can't be felt, but they're homies. They're back. So many things are back. So it's going to just get more, you know, present, more aware. Okay, bye.